Hello and welcome to today's episode of our Labyrinth of Touhou 2 playthrough series, second run through the plus disc version. My name is Shire and I have with me today...
A giant maple leaf that's managed to talk like a human.
Okay, so Momiji's on the outside as well.
Momaji!
Anyway, that's Day,
Hi.
and we will be starting mostly where we left off.
You
You'll
changed
notice
things
though, this
without
save
me?
file is a minute later, and you know why?
Why?
I just ran ahead and farmed for an insect exoskeleton.
Ah, yes, I remember we needed something to do with that. My brain almost went inventory management, but I don't think there's inventory management.
There's inventory management. Just
God
not yet.
damn it!
And now it takes 30 real-time minutes.
Really?
No.
Oh.
Let's get the mouse off the screen.
Mouse says, get off the screen. That's, you know, they're not talking about, like, the cursor there.
It's
Shy...
an actual mouse that lives on my screen.
Yeah, Shy has a pet mouse.
I wish.
Mice are very cute. I could see you as a pet mouse, actually. That would track with you.
Possibly. Now, if it's an anime girl mouse, there is a program on Steam now that can do that. It'll probably
Fair enough.
overtax my computer to run it while doing this, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Also the downside to mice and rats, they die.
Yes.
Like, they have very short lives. Stop crying, I brought you your brain. Is there anything I can do to help? Well, how about we drag you around this giant tree? Okay.
Yeah. Some are happy for it, some are not.
Oh. So, I think I mentioned this just before we started streaming, but I watched another Ghibli movie,
Yep.
which is becoming, like, this is the other part of this series, everyone. It's Day Reviews Ghibli movies, which is Princess Mononoke. And I want to say that that was an incredibly emotionally draining film. Because it's probably the first story I've seen where I kind of emotionally identified with, I think, everybody's struggles. The bit where it really hit for me was when the boars show up and the wolves are looking at them like, you realize you're going into a trap, right? This is incredibly stupid. And they're like, we know, better to die fighting than to die than to whimper out.
Yep.
And they kind of had and I'm sitting there going, I get that perspective. I sympathize. And the human characters, the Lady Eboshi, kind of, I get where she's coming from. I get what she's trying to do. She's trying to forge a world for the outcasts that she cares about, for women, for the downtrodden in society.
Everyone's doing what they can, it's just that there's not enough resources to go around for everyone.
Well, not even that. I mean, there are resources for everyone. It's just everyone has very good reasons not to trust other people. You know?
Yep.
Everyone has good reasons why they can't make peace. Because those people killed our people. Because they're destroying what we want. Because we need this and they won't let us have it.
Probably best to go into more details when we're in the dungeon and have plenty of spare time. Before that, I'm just going to run through what Kogasa does quickly,
Okie
if that's
dokie.
alright.
Yeah, go nuts.
So if you look at her stats, she's also got a good attack like Momiji, but less defense. And yeah, she's obviously a better fighter.
Okay, so she's like a smacker.
Yes, though, of course, even as our first smacker, she has some stunts to her.
Mm-hmm.
So the note we have is that this is just generic attack, but this one and this one both inflict a status effect called Terror,
Terror.
which I believe gives a small debuff to the enemy stats if it hits for players, then it drains their mana, which is horrible.
Oh god, sorry, terror in frickin' Serico was awful.
Yeah, but then we go with some other stuff. First off, this. When she attacks someone with terror, she just gets better and better.
Okay. So she sort of debuffs and smushes.
Yeah, she debuffs and smushes. This one is just a recovery skill, power skill, hit point charging skill. That's decent. And this one makes everything more likely to inflict terror. She is also the first of a few characters that actually got new abilities in the Plus Disc version, which are these two. Super expensive stuff. I don't know if you can see through your resolution, but they cost 24 points.
I can see the points in the resolution that.
Yep. So the number one is massive attack boost against enemies who are terrored. And the second one is massive defense boost from enemies who are terrored. But with a catch that you can't use both at the same time.
Okay. So you have to unlearn one if you want to learn
Yeah.
the others. That makes sense.
This is obviously the one to go for.
Okay.
And let's get into the dungeon and continue talking about Mononoke.
Oh yeah, Mononoke. Where was I at with it?
Or talking about how everybody's got their own cause and their own reasons for distrust.
Yeah, it's the interesting thing, because for everyone, there's a way you can call what they're doing just war. Like, the film goes out of its way to justify why everyone needs to fight, and then turns around and goes, and even despite this war being incredibly justified by all participants and everyone having good reasons, the ultimate outcome is no one getting everything and just a lot of destruction.
Yep.
And, like, normally they sort of go, war is done by having the reasons for war be done, like, in films and in stories, but this is kind of the opposite, where, you know, there's good reasons. It doesn't stop it being dumb.
Yep.
And, yeah, it was truly incredible for that.
What's the term? The war story that I bought the most was actually from the first version of the anime of Gegege no Kitaro. Although it was more of a skirmish, because anime from the 60s. Where it was basically, here's a war where some Western monsters are invading Japan and the Eastern ones have to fight to keep their land.
Oh yeah.
And for all that, the very basic desire of we need to protect ourselves is important. It really sold the fact that, okay, no, everybody here, basically everyone dies, and their deaths are not... I'm at a loss for words.
There's no glory, there's no
glory,
honor,
there's no honor, there's just
people
death.
dying.
Although eventually they retcon the characters back because 60s anime.
Yeah.
But yeah, the big thing there is that author was actually a soldier in World War II, so he was writing from experience.
Yeah. I mean, you get the sense of real careful thought with some of these stories. I mean, Princess Mononoke, for the one that I'm referring to. The people haven't just gone environment good, civilization bad. No, there's some pretty good things this civilization's doing for people.
Yeah.
It's just, you know.
And as far as I was concerned, the environment side can be just as aggressive and heartless.
Yeah, just as stubborn. Yeah, that they are just killing the humans because the humans are damaging their shit and they don't care.
Anyway, someone runs screaming. Shen!
Haven't we caught the kitty yet? Or was that the other game? Okay. I did like that, like...
She's running away from monsters and then we fight monsters.
Shall we call it a run animation? Just the sprite sliding across? I mean, it was kind of neat.
Yep. It's like, not much effort to do it, but it has a good enough effect within the bounds of the graphics.
It's using what you've got, yeah. Although, you know, on walk cycles and that, when I was watching Princess Mononoke, I've realized I've become very sensitive to walk cycles and movement in anime. like, well, not just anime, but animation in general. Because you can really tell when thought's been put into character when they've got specific kinds of walk cycles.
Yep. It's a big way to define them.
Yeah, because a character's gonna walk all the time. They're gonna just wander, like, everyone's gonna walk. How do they walk? And that was a lot of how Mononoke's character actually got defined for a good chunk of her initial appearance, was this skittering running walk that she does. That's honestly slightly, like, you know, feral and creepy.
Which works exactly into her character.
Yeah, and like, there's a sequence of her running over the rooftops and then the main dude chases her. And just in the difference in how they run across rooftops, you can tell so much about each of them. Like, he's quick, but it's very measured steps versus her sort of just ferally charging.
Alrighty, now I've saved just before this battle because decent item, I want to get it.
Ah, where's my sword? My sword. What am I going to do? Hey, look at my cool sword. You have my sword. You stole my sword. I kill you now.
Yep. And then she attacks us.
Is Marissa, like, known as a thief?
Yes.
I mean, that'll do it.
One of the famous iOS songs, or iOS songs, is called Marissa Stole the Precious Thing.
Look at the chippy legs! Look at the tiny palms and the big legs! Oh! I'm sorry, that's probably too high-pitched. Sorry, audience, but oh, look at the little booby, look at her cheeks. Stop smacking her, she's too precious.
We gotta smack her, because she's smacking us.
But no, she's allowed to smack you, because you're, Reimu, and Reimu sucks.
Okay, but she's smacking Momiji.
Momoji's allowed to smack her back.
Okay, she, killed Marissa.
Good. Rumia's allowed to smack her back, too.
Let's, try to get my Terra going.
Terra. Oh god, the eyeballs. Why are there so many eyeballs in these things?
Eyeballs are scary.
Eyeballs are scary. I saw, okay, so I've been in the weird meme section looking for strange things. In part to mess with your sister, by the by.
Of course.
But I control myself on that because competing with your sister on disturbing imagery is a fool's battle. But I found one that was... What item did we get?
Uniform of Exorcism.
Okay, so is that like a schoolgirl exorcism outfit?
We'll read its description later, but yes,
Reimu, why are you making people kneel? Okay. So do we go get to beat up Cherno now?
Possibly. Anyway.
I think we already did it. Oh,
now we're
yes.
dragging her in.
Yep. So, anyway, I found a weird picture of a series of eyes, but it's actually just like glass eyes in vaginas, using the eyes as like the outline.
Oh dear.
It weirdly did look kind of like eyes. It took that moment of, why is this in the weird images? Oh, okay. So yeah, that was an interesting moment.
Yomu!
God, is there a way between sessions that you could go into the BIOS or the files and change the town music?
I think there is, and I'm half planning to.
Excellent, because I hate it. Like, it's actually gotten, like, worse as it's gone on.
Yeah. So yeah, let's just talk about Yomu quickly.
Alright, let's talk about Yomu.
So we go from having
Who...
no physicals to starting to get a flood of them, and this is not going to stop.
Yep.
Part of her deal is she's actually got fairly terrible mana consumption, but she heals it pretty quickly.
Okay.
So it's here. This attack costs 7. 7. No, wait, that's her skill points. 9, 11, 10, and she's only got 12. And they're
Okay.
very straightforward, direct, I hit you attacks.
So she's sort of burst, rest.
Yeah. But then, yeah, she recovers extra. With this skill, she gets a stat boost whenever her MP is full. This one's a
Okay.
stat boost whenever she's badly injured. And regeneration so she can heal herself. Anything else notable? Oh yeah, dexterity. First of a few weird abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime she suffers a debuff, it's treated as a buff, specifically to attack or magic.
My negative, your attacks will heal me now.
Attacks will make me stronger.
My
And
bullets will heal you for negative damage.
another of the plus disc moves is... Okay, lots
Mm-hmm.
of conditions here, but if she concentrates and is at full hit points, she loses hit points and supercharges the attack.
Right, okay, that's... okay.
Interesting.
So I guess my brain's saying what we'd start with would be getting things that, like, how to put it, that up that pool, or make it regenerate faster so she can attack faster.
Yep. And that's why I continuously say the best item in the game is the... what's it called? Blade Kusanart. Anyway, quick thought. Uniform of Exorcism. Something. Demon Hunter's outfit.
So evasion up, I'm seeing, and defense up.
Defense up, mind up, evasion up, and free resistances up.
Pretty nice.
It's a pretty key defensive item.
So who's going to be wearing that?
Momiji, of course.
Heh, Momaji. Momaji Chichi.
Speaking of, she can actually unequip her giant sword.
In exchange for...
A bit more health.
well,
Giant sword can go to you for the moment.
because you already have swords.
Yes.
I think I first saw Sword Gal on your screensaver back in the day.
Yeah, I had quite a few Touhou images for my background.
I always meant to give you a custom ringtone on my phone, but then, like, who uses phones as phones anymore?
Phones or internet.
Yeah. Phones are just the tracker devices that we voluntarily carry.
So they have some strange perks to them.
Yep. Oh! Oh, I just thought that would actually be really interesting in, like, a magical kingdom where you voluntarily get cursed by the government in exchange for a bunch of perks, and it like like you take like a geas to have to do what the government's, like, a lawful evil state, you know?
Yeah.
Where you genuinely get like a lot of perks and things, but at the same time, you know.
Oh yeah, sure, ice, whatever. Cut.
Well, you know, Pokemon. Steel is strong against ice.
Sure that it is.
Huh?
Well, steel soaks a lot, but I don't think it's got anything special against ice.
It'll chip it. I mean, like, if you have a sword and you hit a bunch of ice, do you think it's not gonna, like, chop it?
Oh, got a better health item.
Mad milk. Dipping figurines in it may make things advance. What?
It's
What?
a Team Fortress item.
Oh. There's figurines in Team Fortress?
I have no idea,
Okay.
but it's a pretty sus item.
You're a sus item. Stop dipping yourself. Nuts.
No eating nuts. I banned it.
Nuts are forbidden. By order of the Reimu. Reimu would do that.
Probably.
I ban crabs.
Green hole that knows those who hold power. Oh, and the
green...
title doesn't cut off in this one.
Beautiful, magical, wonderful, perfect, excellent.
As long as the text doesn't drop into Japanese again. Alright.
If I knew Japanese, I'd say things in Japanese whenever it did, but I don't, so I'll just sound really racist if I try. There's no Japanese on screen, it's not the right time, damn it.
Too bad.
Oh, I've got a... I'm just like... Topic. Come up with things.
Chatter, save point.
Are we gonna have to, like, establish that through plot again? Because that was meaningless.
Yep. It's Chirno.
There you are. Kill, destroy, capture, build Team 9.
A big red thing.
I'm guessing that's the nuclear crow.
Nah, that's just an FOE.
It looks like a sun. It should be the nuclear crow.
Yeah. Well, what this is the game decided to be more like Etrian Odyssey.
I mean, whatever. Like...
Yeah. What it is, for those who didn't read the chatter, is a mini-boss that moves on the map when you move.
Okay. Right. But not the nuclear crow.
Yes, don't worry, she's in here. Somewhere.
I am the nuclear crow.
Light crystal. I think that's a magic item.
Think or you know.
It's a defensive item. Glow crystal's what I'm thinking of.
Oh. Glowing crystals of glowness.
Something. Some guy called Whirlo? I don't know that reference.
It's a ferocious stump. Ah, it's ferocious.
Oh no. I'm gonna have to go all out. And it didn't die!
I mean, the ferocious stump did.
The stump did, but that nut is so tanky.
I mean, aren't your nuts tanky? Aren't they tough nuts?
Not.
My nuts have been replaced with miniature tanks. I don't know how to feel about them.
Concept of attributes.
Okay.
I'm out of mana. And it's a ghosty!
Ghosty. That's a little tough. So, I've run out of topics.
It's alright.
On the assumption that you don't want me to get shamelessly political.
It's a reasonable assumption. Sirloin. Where's the girl named Sirloin? I guess it's from a monster game.
Probably.
It's a defensive item.
Something to do with state.
Bias to hit points.
So what's the news in anime?
Not too much. I've been watching through the old Gundam, as you know, and exhausting myself.
Yes, you sent me a panty shot from the early 90s?
Late 80s.
Late 80s. Fair enough.
And it's, I mean, all I can really say is I'm glad that I'm not alone in thinking this is a terrible season of Gundam.
Fair enough. I have one friend that's really invested in Gundam, and his investment always kind of made me think, this isn't for me. Yeah, you've been mentioning a lot of effort going to make a silly character into a very serious, clever villain.
Yep. And it's just... try it. You can try what you like to try to get the story back on track, but all of your plot points are still built on the nonsense.
Yeah,
like,
you're
oh
rotten
hey, this
foundation.
character's death was tragic and all, but she was only exposed to risk because of an idiot love plot. And whatever you try to do to make the transforming fusing giant robot work, the fact remains that it's got a beam cannon mounted to its helmet that is more powerful than the heavy weapons of the other mechs.
Power creep too hard.
Yeah.
I've seen that in other mech shows. The one that I actually did watch all the way through, which was Code Geass, like it did that bad in the last season. Like it just suddenly everyone had unique super mechs.
Yeah, Code Geass did a lot.
I think I've said before, the longer I've gone since that show, the less I think of it. I enjoyed it at the time. It's not held up terribly well.
I think it's a pretty bad show, but it hasn't done anything to specifically
degrade.
Yeah. Oh, that's the way to put it. I think it's a shameless pandering show that did everything for money.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it's not like it ever lied about its intentions.
Yeah, I think it might just be because when I first watched it, I actually did quite enjoy it. And then it's, you know, I guess I would, in a way, I feel like I was suckered in.
It did a good job of suckering in.
Yeah. I think I feel a similar way about Mariah Nikki, but then I still kind of find that hilarious in hindsight. Just because of how amazingly dumb that show. Which I know you didn't like that one.
It had consistency problems.
Yeah, I'm not.
Sort of defied my general distaste for battle royale type anime.
Yeah, the tone was constant whiplash. The peak of that show was the kick in the teeth AMV that some. Oh no, it wasn't kick in the teeth. It was a different. Anyway, peak of the show was a very good AMV. As was quite a few animes, weirdly.
I was never particularly in the AMV scene myself, though, so... Watched a couple of ones that you recommended.
What do you remember?
There was one that had multiple versions of Clamp Sakura. There was the...
Oh, yes.
Anime's Got Talent one.
Oh, the Anime's Got Talent one's funny.
And of course there was Once Upon a Time in Russia.
I think the first one you mentioned was Russian AMV artist, who's unfortunately, I think, since died. But she did some amazing ones. She did one that was basically a fanfic version of Full Metal Alchemist. That essentially manages to, in an AMV, construct an alternate universe where Al died when they tried to rescue their mum. And then Ed gets really dark. And like watching that AMV, it was very much a I could see this if you like you could make a alternate version of the story like this, and it would be, you know, compelling. Ukima, that was it. Ukima Seoji or something. I can't pronounce words. Seoji. But yeah.
Party members.
Yeah, Shadows of Reflection was the Sakura one. But yeah. That was good. That was good content. There was also one that was heavily based around Fate, and I think is it Saber, the main girl.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing about Fate is you've got a lot of resources to work with.
Well, the thing that made Ukima's so good was she would actually like animate small sections herself and heavily edit the clips. Like there's bits where she had cut out individual characters and put them on completely different backgrounds to make the clip work. Like, it wasn't just grabbing clips, it was doing some serious editing to make different clips fit together. And there'd be like 20 different anime used.
Yep. Yeah, that reminds me of another one, the Safety Dance AMV.
That's great. That one's great. This is all just nostalgia. I haven't looked at AMVs in a long time because I've been largely out of anime, so I just look at these things and go. And also, there's way too many of them that are just like, here are the big tough guys being big and tough. I don't know if there's anyone quite doing the sort of stuff Ukuma was doing. But yeah.
I imagine that sort of stuff is a bit harder to...
Oh no.
It's always a bit harder when you put actual effort into it.
Oh yeah, yeah. She only put out like a handful of AMVs. But, you know, that handful...
stood out.
Were fantastic, and... It's strange not knowing her at all and still being a bit sad that she passed, you know? Like, I would have liked to keep seeing work. Oni, is that...
Oni's panties.
You just grabbed someone's frickin' underwear. Is the drunk Oni somewhere and you have to give her back her underwear?
Yeah, she's somewhere, but it's not about her. This is more of a stereotypical tiger print undies that Oni like to wear.
Okay, those who want to steal them lose interest as the Oni don't really care. That tracks. Huh? I'm not wearing pants? I'm drunk. It's fine. Or rather, you're not wearing pants, drunken slur.
I'm not drunk. You're my dad. Alright, now I gotta leave the dungeon.
Oh no.
Everyone's exhausted. Yeah, right. Another quick dialogue thing. Small feature I haven't used.
Oh yeah?
Basically, if I hit a particular key on my keyboard, the encounter rate for the next step goes up to 100%.
That's intended?
Yes.
For grinding?
For grinding, yeah.
Interesting.
Let's get everyone a few more levels.
You're a level.
Alright. Also, I'm gonna mute this so we don't go crazy.
Oh, we have Chirino.
Yep, she was just lying unconscious, so we dragged her into the party.
Wait, lying unconscious back in town, or like in the dungeon and I missed it?
In the dungeon, in front of the FOE.
Oh, okay. Cool. Oh, I assumed that was an encounter and then she ran away.
Nope, not this time.
So what's her deal then?
Alright, so she's fast, frail, and is a mixed attacker. So she
Okay.
uses both her attack and magic stats.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, she's got a defensive ability. That's a JoJo reference.
Beloved tomboyish girl.
Yep, and she's got attack, attack, attack. Also, she's fast, but she combines paralysis and slow attacks with all of her abilities. And is the best at it.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Team 9, obviously. Hell yeah.
Always rising after falling, which means that she can last longer on a small amount of TP, which helps when she's so frail.
Yeah, because she's basically just like,
Yep.
fuck it.
Automatic speed reduction.
Alright. Everyone stops to look at her, basically.
Yep. Improves her own recovery from debuffs. Hold damage protection. And plus disc ability. If she dies, she inflicts every enemy with an unblockable speed debuff.
So she kind of charges in, bursts, dies, and then a lot of shit happens.
Yeah. Well, you try not to have her die because keeping enemies slow is... Well, that actually also works to her benefits, is if she does land the slow, then you can usually swap her out before anything really nasty hits her.
But she's also got a lot of things that make her dying less of a big deal.
Yeah. So, I'll take this one for the moment. And another point in this one. She also has a status of leveling up slightly faster than average.
I've never thought of her as particularly tomboyish, but you know, it does, I guess, fit.
It's the name of her theme song, though.
Ah! She kind of is, though.
Yeah.
Like, she's that bruiser, scrapper kid. It just
didn't make the connection?
No, because I usually think that specifically in context of sports, so... is she in the Touhou soccer game?
Yes.
Okay, good.
She has the only attack where she is actually beaten to death by a ball.
What?
The ball in the Touhou soccer game is almost indestructible, but in the case of Chirino's ultimate attack, she actually gets beaten to death by the ball.
How does this soccer match work?
Well, the general rule is anything goes as long as you don't touch the ball with your hands.
I'm not sure that's strictly the rules of soccer.
Found a plant with a hat in it.
I think I recognize that person.
She was frozen in the other game. How many great tree leaves do I have?
1.
Now, one thing I will say in this game's favor, any collectible that you need to get for a quest is also findable in a treasure chest at least at one point. So, even if you're unlucky, you can eventually get them.
That's fair.
Bad attack. Oh, that actually reminds me. Oh, and I got a light staff. That's also a magic equipment.
Oh, yes, equipping things. Pew pew.
Apparently it doesn't increase magic, though, according to its flavor text.
Except it does.
Yeah. The thing about Kaney, you can't see it in the dungeon, is that she's got weak magic attacks, as I said, but one of them actually targets defense.
Oh,
which is
so she can
unusual.
knock down.
Yeah.
Sort of makes sense, I guess.
Yep. I think I've said she's much better as a buffer than a caster, but when you combine her with Moko, she gets enough attack power to be valid.
I guess in these sort of games, you do sort of have to look at characters as, like, in context of each other.
Yeah. Especially with how many combo abilities are in this game. Oh, I see Reimu's slowly doing the important work in the background at least.
Hmm?
So if you recall, I gave her ability that's every so often recovers a point of MP for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized I should not have been able to use 2 attacks in a row with Momiji.
But the MP let you?
Yeah.
Cool. That tree beetle's got an eye.
Yes, it's looking at you.
Mm. Ugh. A choo-choo.
Oh yeah, the metal rod
Mhm.
events.
Metal rods.
You collect
Okay.
metal rods lying about to unlock another character's event. But the thing is, you actually get all the rods before you meet the character.
Ah. That's not the crow's son, is it?
No.
Okay, because I know she has cooling rods. I've seen them. In the fighting game.
Yeah. Oh, here's a topic to breach.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of thumbnails for this series?
Dunno. I mean, probably the best would be putting up different cute anime girls.
Yeah,
But then...
What I've done last time was take the tree picture I'd used before or the tree picture from the start and post the relevant characters in front of it.
Yeah.
Ferocious Ghosty. It's too ferocious. Good thing I paralyzed it.
It's got a tongue.
Good thing I brought
gonna lick you.
Chirona to paralyze it.
Cheer, cheer, cheer. Cheer, freeze all. Kill. Yeah, no, I'd just be like...
Just same as before.
I guess my sort is just put the anime girls up front.
Yeah. I've also thought of doing the bosses, but it's hard to find clean art of them.
Mm-hmm.
And well, 1 or 2 of them might get me demonetized. Not that I get monetized in the first place.
Yeah. They don't want to be banned. Is that because they're sexy?
A little bit of sexy. Not in your
Oh.
face, but probably a bit too in your face for a thumbnail.
I don't know. Do you remember the days of BoobTube?
Yeah.
All the thumbnails were boobs.
Watched a particular YouTuber who put out an apology video for the sexy thumbnail and said, "I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were such a young boy, YouTube. I didn't realize I'd be hitting your fetish."
Only the young are still turned on by boobs. The old require truly sublime tastes, like being gently massaged with a single eucalyptus leaf on the nose.
Is that just koalas?
What? I was talking about my fetishes.
Oh.
Are you saying they're not valid? You're invalidating me. Oh no!
Can't fight this boss. I'll be back.
Why not?
I think that's actually just Chen again, though.
Oh, you're just Chen again. Oh, da 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 da.
Oh. Should. Now that's one bad habit I have.
Yeah?
For a lot of characters, they have an area skill for their second attack and a single target one for their first.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a habit of just when a character's turn comes up, quickly going 1 down and using that skill.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Just area blast everyone. Okay. Ah, it's a new spot. It's like a hidden zone.
Yep.
It smells... It's... Oh, is it food? Do we get food?
Oh, and everyone's welcome.
Oh!
Selling lamprey.
Why would you be selling food? Do you have any connection to food?
Yes.
Huh?
Okay, so the deal we have in terms of narrative is she's a scam artist. She sells food that's supposed to be good for night blindness, while causing it to people and then slowly removing it as they eat her food.
Ah.
I don't have any though. Selling food for cheap. Okay, we want some. I don't have any. Then why are we talking? I want you to sell it for cheap.
So you sell me the ingredients. I'll make the food and sell it back to you?
Yep.
That's just a business model. It's barely a scam.
This one's barely a business model, but her story mechanic is what I said before.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Alright, we're running out of space to explore on this floor.
She's an imperishable knight, right?
Yes, she's the second boss.
Right. Because I just remember, like, kind of speed bumping past her.
She's a bit of that.
It's just not very difficult.
Her main difficulty comes from obscuring the screen, but to a certain extent that actually makes things easier.
Yeah, there's less to focus on. You just focus on not dying.
Okay. General warning, you shouldn't try to use the attack skill to save mana like I am. It's a little better than before because they changed how things scale in this one, but it's still a bad attack. And usually you just wind up losing points for your troubles.
Fair enough. Rain,
Swords everywhere. Let's replace you with Giranor.
Begin Team 9.
Yep.
Power
Misty's actually
activate.
part of Team 9 as well.
Mistier?
Yeah, the
Umbrella
food
Girl?
stall.
Oh, no, I knew Food Stall was. I just don't
didn't
remember
know her
the
name.
names. Yeah. Well, I remember her as, like, isn't she like a little bird or something?
Yep.
Team 9's like a Phantom thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we've lost our tank. Yolmu can substitute.
I hit things good.
At least at this point, physical characters and tanks are somewhat interchangeable.
Makes
Poison
sense.
resistance ring.
Ah, the purple claw ring or whatever.
Yep.
Clutch ring?
I think the clutch rings are the ones that boost your stats. Poison
Yeah,
bite
the-
ring, I think is the one you're thinking
Poison.
of.
Yeah, poison bite ring. Yeah.
There's an insect skeleton if I didn't have one already.
There's mechanic in like older games that doesn't tend to get used much. That is like if you rely on items, like eventually you hit a point, like if you're using them too much, when you take them off, it just drops your stats because you become dependent.
Yeah, I know of a tabletop game that does that.
It's not really. I guess it's not really a thing anymore.
Yeah.
It
I don't
makes
think it would
sense.
be a really good thing anyway.
I think.
I try to avoid dependence on potions in most games, although that's most people.
Yeah, you don't really want to be incentivizing people not to use mechanics.
Yeah.
I think it would be a good thing for rare items that have more power, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So you have
Strong
like,
item, but it slowly reduces your stats on a.
if you like it, it's sort of like the fat ring in Dark Souls. Like if you take it off, it breaks, but you know.
Favor and protection.
Yeah. Is a similar sort of concept in many ways. Huh. And there's a way up. Haven't we not beaten something on that past floor?
Yeah. I'll hit the checkpoint because it will make things easier.
And then there's like a big yellow ball to beat up.
Yeah, there's a big yellow ball over here. There's a boss over here. And there's this little unexplored section over here.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the easiest way to get to any of that is to go back to town.
Because we can choose which checkpoint we load to.
Actually, while I'm back in town, I should reduce everyone to level 6.
Okay.
Alright, from looking at things, may or may not have enough time for the local bosses?
Let's continue and do them. We can do a little bit more today.
Yeah, definitely at least enough time to finish off the floor.
Hmm. Oh.
Yeah, okay, you just can't quite get the kill by yourself.
Fair enough. Can't quite kill you.
Yep, not yet. Mouse off screen.
Hmm. They're not, like, the floors aren't terribly big.
Yeah.
Like, they're not small, they're probably...
Checkpoint. Oh,
They're
hey,
probably
a boss
a-
that's level 8.
Yeah, they're probably about where you'd want them to be. Okay, I don't think we're doing that boss today.
Yeah. Alright, back.
Okay, the bosses are all in purple.
Okay, slightly annoying, but the fastest way, I think, is this checkpoint.
Okie dokie. How many floors are there?
20, I think.
Oh, okay.
This is the wrong way.
We're going at a pretty good rate then.
You always go through the first couple of levels pretty quickly in these games.
Okay.
Damn it, I was wrong.
In the Etrian Odyssey games, that is.
Yeah.
Is this a big genre of games? I guess dungeon crawlers.
Yeah, if we cut it down to dungeon crawlers, there's quite a lot, although these days they're mostly indie works. It's the type of mechanics have greatly fallen out of favor with big name creators.
The grinding and the heavy producing sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I suppose. Yeah.
Turn-based games in general as well.
People want the action.
Die, Ghosty.
Did you ever play the XCOM games?
I did not.
Just thinking of like popular turn-based affairs.
There's a push to... The idea is your straight-up turn-based game doesn't have much innovation to it.
I think that's sort of a problem, because you do need the genres, like, for a genre to be alive, it needs to be, alive, it needs to be innovating in some
The only
way.
difference between this game and something like the Final Fantasy, or the earlier Final Fantasy series, is that the game pauses on your turn.
Yeah, that's not...
I do know a couple that have innovated fairly well, though.
Yeah?
I mean,
Yeah.
I could bring up Undertale, where you have an active defense game to avoid attacks.
Yep.
But this was actually done before in the Super Mario RPG and Paper Mario games, and the Mario and Luigi games. So, although to a lesser extent, so you have games where you do have active control to avoid attacks, but you still play on a turn-based basis. So where you insert active mechanics into things. Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, we're not going to beat the other boss, I think. Well, 5 minutes.
I'm happy to keep going.
Another one is Bravely Default, where it's fully turn-based, but as a result they take the concept of action economy fairly literally and allow you to bank and borrow your turns.
Oh, see, that's kind of interesting. It's that question in my head is like, oh, is that from the moon?
Yes, the final boss of Imperishable Night.
Yeah. Huh.
Anyway, she's here because she's competing with Moko.
Okay.
And because she's bored, she's gonna attack
Let's
us.
fight about it. Aww, chibi bosses.
Okay, if I recall, she's got a really painful mechanic behind her.
Yes? What's that?
Basically, if you land too many debuffs on her, she activates a powerful buff and then instantly gets a turn after that.
Ooh, that's scary.
And I think it may count for ailments too, which is rough because that's the bigger part of what I've got right now.
So she's one that you just need to hit, I suppose.
Alright, so that was fine. And I'm doing some good damage.
Terror. Oh wow, this tune's actually bopping.
Alright, so a quick mistake, it's a powerful attack that also buffs her.
Okay.
And I think she's gonna keep doing that. No, not that move. This is going to be a loss.
Okay. I believe in you. Power of friendship. Power of friendship. Win. Can do it.
She's concentrating. That's good.
Do it. Friendship.
Fight her!
Friendship. Yes.
Yes!
I told you I believed in you.
I don't think we got anything of what I want, but let me quickly copy that. So, the good news of fighting her at the end of a session is I can cut off, fight her until she drops the item without boring you to tears.
Yep. Wait, we don't get to collect her for that.
Yep.
Aw. We get her later?
Yes.
Goody.
Incidentally, she created another event item over here.
I can't see where you're pointing, but cool.
Well,
alright then.
We haven't actually hit 60 minutes quite yet, so I'll run to it quickly.
Ah! Run, 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 dash, 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 dash.
Slowly float.
Oh. Do, 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 do. Hello. Oh! You!
The other one, the other end boss of Imperishable Night.
Okay. We're just doing stuff.
Yep. Where's my princess? God damn it, she's being an idiot again. We invite her along, she says no. And then stays here for a bit.
Okay. Is there something else to do to trigger like a next stage of conversation?
Yes. There's another event slightly later on to deal with that.
Okay.
Anyway,
cool.
Muting that annoying music, I will actually go and replace it by Wednesday, because we're going to do this on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Australian time.
That's the plan, yeah. Yeah, Eastern Australian time. We're not in the desert.
Yep.
As far as you know.
So I guess any closing thoughts you have right now?
I think perhaps like the game is getting repetitive. I'm interested in like how much can you do to innovate, I guess, turn-based mechanics. I'm the wrong person to answer that because I don't really use them, but
the question of how can you innovate is a difficult one. Because if you can answer that question, then you've got an innovation right there.
Yeah.
But I personally at least believe that there's still a lot of life left in the genre if people were to actually dig into it.
Yeah, I think the other trick of coming up with an innovative mechanic is to innovate the genre. You don't just need to make one game sort of interesting. You need to come up with something that captures the attention of designers and makes different designers think, I can use that to do something completely different to what you just did.
Yep.
You know, it can't just be like, oh yeah, that was a cool way to represent that one thing. It needs to be an idea that someone else can look at and twist.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, with that, I'll probably let this session wrap up. To anyone who's tuned in, I'll say thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day.
Yeah. What they said. Have good days.
See you next time.